Hi guys, today we're going to look at figure 7.1 in your textbook on page 137. So this graph has everything to do with graphically showing the benefits of an improved environment. In this case, the air quality improved and that had a positive effect on a farmer. So I just want to state, just to clear it up, it's not the farmer that improved the air quality, it's something that happened somewhere else, and he just had a secondary benefit. He just reaped some benefits from that. Okay, so that's important. Also important is to remember that we talked about the benefits of the environment on the economy. So we stated direct use values, indirect use values, and non-use values. So this is just graphically showing that those benefits on the economy. So let's go to our graph. First of all, with graphs, I'm going to say this every time because I see it all the time. Students, it's very sloppy with their graphs. They would just draw something like this for me. No labels, curves aren't named, curves aren't straight, nothing. So that's really just, that's not good. I can't give you any marks for that. So make sure you use a ruler, you name your axis, you name your graphs, you do it neat, and show all the movements so that I know what you're doing and I can give you marks. So first of all, I always start with the letter 0, then the y-axis I call price. I see in the textbook they call this x dollar. I don't like that because I just don't like that. So I would prefer if you call it price. However, if you call it dollar, obviously I won't penalize you on that. And then the x-axis is quantity. I abbreviate quantity here in brackets with Q, showing that's the short I use, and I abbreviate price with B. Now, the graph in the textbook uses a straight, or rather a curved supply curve. You might say you're not comfortable with that because you've always used straight lines. It really doesn't matter. Whatever, doesn't matter. You can use both. Both is correct. That's very technical, and it is not necessary for second years to understand the difference. Okay, so let's use a straight line. The second thing is, in the textbook they don't give a demand curve. Now usually demand curve is downward sloping. You're welcome to put that in, that's fine, it doesn't matter. But the reason why they didn't put it in is they said, right, a farmer is part of a competitive market, and true, the whole market's demand curve is downward sloping, but because a farmer doesn't have a choice on the price of the produce, it is actually just a straight, look, that's not very neat, let's do it over again. It's actually just a straight demand curve. And then your demand curve is equal to your price, basically, over here. So what they did in the textbook, they just gave a price line. So you're welcome to do that as well. That's not central to this graph. What is important is, what is really important is that you show the improvement of the environment. In order to show the effects of an improved environment on the economy, I first have to show where equilibrium is. I'm going to call that E1 for equilibrium, and I'm just going to show with dotted line that at E1 I produce a quantity of Q1 at a price of P1. Right, now what happens? The environment improves, the air quality rather improves, and this has a positive, but external, but positive effect for the farmer. So now, without him doing anything, he's still using the same labor, the same capital, the same everything. He doesn't have a bigger farm. It's only the air quality improved, and the improved air quality has a certain benefit for the farmer. So, and that what happens then is the supply curve shifted out. Important, call it something else now. It's S1, and show with an arrow the shift. So I know it went from S to S1 and not the other way around. So now, the cool thing is, we are at a new equilibrium. Let's call that E2. and at E2 we produce a larger quantity yield, whatever the farmer produce. Okay, so obviously there's an increase over here in his produce, in the quantity, in his output. And this whole area over here, let me show it with a highlighter, this whole area over here is an increased benefit for the farmer. That's something, he didn't do anything different, he didn't have additional costs, or he didn't have to get additional laborers, but it was something just happened, and it increased his crops. So this whole yellow area is an increased benefit for the farmer. Now previously, before the farmer had this increased benefit, he was over here. This was the area the farmer was in. Okay, let's just quickly delete this new supply curve so we can only focus on this blue block over here. Of this blue block, the whole area was money that came in, so it's price times quantity, but only the area above the supply curve was his actual profit. Alright, and then when the supply curve shifted to S1, let me draw it again, hopefully up. Let's try that one more time. Okay, when that's shifted, we are in a new area. So now that blue block isn't relevant anymore. Now this, let me just delete that. Now this green block is relevant. Sorry about that. Right, and exactly the same. This whole green block might have been is what came in for the farmer, but only the part above the supply curve is the profit he made. Can you see the profit grew from this area over here to this whole area without him doing anything? He just used the same labor, the same capital, he has the same size farm, everything. So the only thing that changed is the egg quality improved, and that caused the crops to grow better, caused the laborers to be more healthy. Maybe they had asthma before and now they're healthy, and therefore they work more effectively. And therefore this shows the benefit of clean air for the farmer.